Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers Wu Jingyuan, who is a flood victim himself, is helping other victims restore their homes. Tzu Chi volunteers around the globe are working with the food banks to provide food for low-income families. And in Zimbabwe, Tzu Chi volunteers are celebrating the opening of the newly built classrooms at the Rangu Elementary School. We start today's show in Taiwan. Though Typhoon Tianbin left last Thursday, August 23rd, it changed its direction and headed back to the island. The government issued a land warning for the second time early Monday morning. The first landfall of the typhoon last week brought much devastation to southern Taiwan. Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Jingyuan's house in Pingtung was also ravaged by the flood. However, Wu set aside his cleanup work and joined his fellow volunteers in helping flood victims restore their homes.
Here at the recycling station in Pingtung County's Ceteng Township, Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Jingyuan is busy cleaning lunchboxes.
I'm happy to give. We are happy as long as our residents are safe.
Despite being a flood victim himself, Wu Jingyuan is happy to give and seizes the opportunity to help those in greater need.
He sets aside what his family has gone through and comes out to distribute hot meals with us. From the meetings till now, he participated in everything.
Upon returning home after his Tzu Chi duties, Wu then begins the cleaning work around his house. Carrying the destroyed furniture out of his house, the volunteer, however, is still thinking about his fellow residents.
Other people like us suffered in the flooding, but they are in worse shape, as they don't even have food to eat. That's why we are helping them first.
Wu puts the needs of disaster victims before his own, and his wife, Pan Qing-mei, happily supports her husband's decision as well.
It's not much. He's a Tzu Chi volunteer, and though family is important, we are happy that we are capable of helping others.
Both part of the Tzu Chi family, the couple takes Master Zheng Yan's teachings to heart and gives selflessly to help those in greater need.
On August 25th, last Saturday, Taidong Tzu Chi volunteers rushed to the disaster zone in eastern Taiwan to conduct a disaster survey following Typhoon Tianbin. The next day, they proceeded to hand out emergency cash to residents in 4 different townships of Taidong County. Among the recipients was the father of Tzu Chi volunteer Yang Jing'ai. For Yang and many others, the visit offered care and warmth. Let's take a look.
When the wind came, it came howling and didn't stop the whole night. I couldn't sleep. About 3 to 4 a.m., the roof got torn off.
The area around Taidong's DaAu Township faced level 17 winds as Typhoon Tianbin made its way inland. In its wake, it left houses roofless. On the afternoon of the 25th, volunteers began surveying the disaster left by the typhoon, as well as checking on care recipients. The next day, the volunteers spread out in the direction of DaAu, Shangwu, Nantian, and Daxi townships to hand out emergency cash.
I've lived in DaAu for 51 years. I've never seen such devastation. This is worse than the AA floods. Then after the waters left, we cleaned up and simply threw away things that got waterlogged. I have no idea how long it will take us to clean up.
Mr. Yang is actually the father of volunteer Yang Jing'ai. He hurt his head during the heavy rains, but was otherwise all right thanks to the compassionate care of the Tzu Chi volunteers.
Today, we are going around to check on the residents here to make sure they are okay. Most of the roofs here have been blown off. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Altogether, 40 volunteers spent the day checking in on 59 families, to which they also delivered emergency cash. They hope that the aid can help residents recover from the recent typhoon. In the United States and Canada, food banks are a major food source for low-income families. Tzu Chi volunteers have long worked with the food bank to provide food for the needy. Canada Tzu Chi volunteers have even started providing homegrown fruits and vegetables, while volunteers at the New Jersey chapter have computerized their food distribution to increase efficiencies.
In California of the United States, Tzu Chings are packing up food supplies.
I wanna go to Taiwan!
Here in Canada, once a month, Coquitlam volunteers provide a hot meal for those in need.
Thank you very much.
This is Thanksgiving in Hawaii, where they provide a 5-star menu and a 6-star service.
Happy Thanksgiving and nice lunch.
Tzu Chi and food banks work together to not only provide food for the needy, but warmth as well. Working together for 20 years, Tzu Chi is the largest Asian organization the food banks here collaborates with. Tzu Chi is also the first to provide fresh fruits and vegetables.
The supplies in the food bank usually come from supermarket donations, like canned food or bread, but there are no fresh fruit or vegetables.
In 2007, Canada's Richmond Tzu Chi volunteers adopted a farm and started planting their own fruits and vegetables to help others.
Wow!
Hey yo, hey yo, hey hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey hey yo.
In the United States, freshness is also a priority.
I'm here at the food bank to look for food for care recipients, as some of them are low-income families. We try to pick ones like this. This has gone bad. We don't want those. If we arrive late, we won't have our pick of the good stuff.
In September of 2010, Tzu Chi volunteers in New Jersey started a food pantry using a computer program to handle the logistics of distribution.
Milk and eggs. I didn't get eggs this week.
They have control of what they receive because we record what they have received last month or last week, so they can see what they need.
While in San Francisco, California, volunteers working at the Gordon J. Lau Elementary School food distribution uses their smarts.
We start at 11, but they will arrive at 7.
They use the cardboard or stone or chair to occupy the space. Make sure to get number 1 or number 2 at the beginning.
Volunteers came up with a solution to solve the problem of fights in line by handing out colored number cards to separate the times of distribution. It's not charity, but giving. It's not pity, but respect. Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to work with food banks to bring compassion to those in need.
Moving to Taiwan, to help underprivileged families, Taichung has established a food bank to provide food to those in need. In fact, for 3 years now, the Taichung government has already been working with the public to distribute food on the 4th weekend of each month to help some 3,000 families.
As the food bank in Taichung's Xitun district opens at 9 a.m., residents only need to bring their letter of notice, personal ID and stamp to collect aid supplies.
Number 23, Zhang Mingxing, Meal C. Please give him Meal C.
The Meal C referred to by the food bank staff includes rice, noodles and canned food. adding up to 7 different items. The Social Welfare Department provides 3 types of meals according to the amount of people in a family.
My son is not earning a lot and I have quite a few grandchildren. I'm grateful that the government have such a wonderful policy.
It is a great help for us. The economy isn't so good right now, so it more or less helps us.
Today, nearly 3,000 families are benefiting from the 27 food distribution points around Taichung. Apart from giving out food to needy families, food bank staff are also responsible for home visitations.
We will visit these families every 3 months, so we can assess if they still really need the help of our food bank.
Mr. Fang, who receives meal C, makes sure he does not waste any food. With a family of 3, whenever Mr. Fang is cooking, he always weighs the exact amount of noodles, just enough to feed his family.
We are mostly afraid that we don't have enough or that we will have too much food on the table and that it will be left for the next meal.
As part of a low-income family, Mr. Fang picks out unwanted cabbage leaves from the market, buys the cheapest tofu and cooks them into a pot of soup.
We need to save money wherever we can so that in emergency circumstances, we can, for example, still buy our children's uniforms when school starts.
With the establishment of Taiwan's food bank, Mr. Fang, like many other underprivileged families, is grateful as his family is spared from hunger.
The Rangu Elementary School is located on the outskirts of the capital of Harare, Zimbabwe, where its classrooms are situated outdoors. To help, Tzu volunteers from Taiwan, South Africa, and Zimbabwe assembled 7 prefabricated classrooms for the students. After nearly a month of effort, the volunteers held an opening ceremony to celebrate the establishment of the new classrooms.
Putting on the Tzu logo, the volunteers are preparing for the opening ceremony of the prefabricated classrooms. While the volunteers are busy preparing for the ceremony, the students are helping clean up the classrooms. To make sure every detail in the opening ceremony is perfect, teachers and students rehearse their clapping, singing, and dancing.
So happy. This is really a great job that you did for us, and I can't really explain how much I am grateful for what you have done for us. And I'll say, may you continue with this good work that you're doing, and I love you.
I'm very happy. I can't even explain it, and I want to say I love you, but more than love.
The mission of building the prefabricated classrooms brings together volunteers from Taiwan, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. Though they have different tasks, they share one goal.
But you can see in this week, in this area, we have so many from different countries come here, join together with our kids. Someone we don't know each other, come here to help each other, because it's only one way, love.
Zhu Jincai, a local Taiwanese businessman, is also a Tzu volunteer who has been distributing aid here since 2007. He is now joined by over 70 local volunteers.
It's first time in Zimbabwe to receive this help of school structurers. I think I very much for this kind of heart who give Master Kenyan who give this heart to the children of Zimbabwe.
I believe we will give more to help these children and schools. Tzu Chi will gradually make people in Zimbabwe believe that love does exist.
With the new classrooms, students will no longer be affected by the weather, but enjoy a proper study environment.
The months of July and August are a time of harvest and also considered the beginning of the new years for the Amis people of Taiwan. The Sarawak tribe of the Amis living near Taoyuan's DaHan are just one of the many tribes that have come together to celebrate the New Year's in the traditional Amis manner. For the tribe's elders, the festival is also a time to pass on the Amis culture to the next generation before it is too late. Here's more.
Sarawak in the Amis tongue means by the river. Located along the DaHan River, the sound of laughter and music fills the village during this most important harvest festival.
Here we do our best to protect our culture. During each harvest season, our children, no matter where they are, will come back, and we will use this time to pass on our ways and help them understand how our ancestors and elders came about.
20-year-old Xu Yiting grew up in Taipei. Although the tribe's eastern villages are too far away, the Sarawak village is close enough to make it a day trip.
I am born an indigenous, so there's a feeling of coming home. Here we don't make distinctions regarding what tribe you come from, or even if you are indigenous or not. Everyone can take part in this harvest festival. It is a way of giving thanks and a chance for everyone to come together.
The annual gathering not only brings the tribe together, but is also an important part of ensuring its culture survives.
Every time we come back, we see how the younger generation gathers here and how the elders are passing on the traditional culture of the indigenous people.
Our traditional culture is something like a lotus flower that has been passed down by our elders. If not for this tribe, we would not know what to do.
Jianming, a professor at Zhongyuan University, who is currently doing research on the Sarawak tribe, takes us on a walk towards the riverbanks.
The rocks have been piled up after passing this area. However, we see how the layout of the area is completely different. This is maybe the earliest type of daluan, made when there were still many rocks to be found on the ground.
The earlier settlers here used rocks to create dikes for their fields, next to which they built a daluan.
At that time, there was a utility pole here. On top of it, someone had written Daluan village. Although at that time the village had yet to be built, I knew that they wanted to build it here in the future.
To make ends meet, many tribes moved to Taiwan's east coast. Over the space of 30 years, members of various tribes built a tribal village here. Using recycled materials and traditional building methods, slowly a community was established, a community that still holds on to the Amis farming and foraging ways.
In the end, they decided to settle here. They put together something akin to the organization Sakafiyao, which is a community of neighbors in which help is extended to those that want to become a part of the community.
Mothers in the Amis tribe tell their children that when they leave home, that they need to build a daluan either by a river or on a mountain. Members of the Sarawak village have done just that, as they have turned this rocky land into a place where their culture will flourish for generations to come.
Staying in Taiwan, in a feature report on Love is Around, we visit an indigenous tribe in Miaoli County's Tai'an Township to learn the story of Tzu Chi care recipient Yang Lan-ying. Lan-ying's father passed away before her university entrance exam and left the family in despair. The student then had to work part-time jobs to support herself through college. Now a fresh graduate, she decided to become a teacher at her tribe and hopes to share her experiences with her students.
For us, it is a pity to see children dropping out of school because of their living conditions. We hope to encourage them to pursue a better education, and we will support them as much as we can.
For the past 5 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been visiting this indigenous tribe in Miaoli County's Tai'an Township. Today we follow Tzu Chi volunteers as they visit a brave young girl. Yang Lan-ying is the first person in her village to graduate from a national university.
I like to collect these. I am very happy when I see the comments from her teachers and her report cards.
Since young, Lan-ying has achieved outstanding grades in school. Unfortunately, Lan-ying's father passed away before her university entrance exam. Suddenly, this family fell from comfort into despair.
When our father passed away, we lost our financial support. Thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers, for supporting my family.
To pursue a better education, Lan-ying had to work her way through school. Seeing her mother working so hard, she once thought of quitting school.
I told her, you want to work on the mountain like me? I said, you have to stay under the blazing sun. You want to do this? After listening to my advice, she decided to continue her education. I always think of people living in far worse conditions than me. I think I'm very lucky because I still have my mother, brother, and grandmother. I don't think I'm living in hardship.
With support from her mother, young Lan-ying finally graduated from university. A few days ago, she visited her father's grave and told him the good news.
I told my father that I'm officially a university graduate and I'm a teacher at the local school. I told him I will take good care of our family and not to worry about us. He only needs to watch over us and protect us.
Lan-ying remembers her father as being a helpful person, always helping the needy in the village. She hopes to do the same and helps the indigenous children here to have a brighter future.
You need to believe in yourself and don't think of yourself as less fortunate than others. I hope to widen their perspectives of themselves. I want to share my experiences and remind them to think of their families and their futures.
At the end of August, Lan-ying will become a teacher at this elementary school. Looking at the children playing on the field, she hopes to share her experiences and bring them a brighter future. At the end of the show, we go to the city of Surrey in Canada, where Tzu Chi volunteers held a charity sale at a local elementary school. Through the fundraising event, the volunteers hope to give recycled items a second lease of life and also to raise funds that will later be used to help the needy. That's all the time we have for. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.